Warm greetings and welcome once again to Slim Talks by Anil Fernandes. As you know, Slim Talks is dedicated to developing excellence in areas of strategy, leadership, innovation, and marketing. So I request you to please log on to my channel, Slim Talks. Please to press the like button and the subscribe button, and please to share and please to comment. So what are we going to discuss today? As you can see, the title on the slide, one of the most critical determinants of success in an enterprise hinges on the quality of the leadership. If you're starting a new enterprise, or if you want to build a turnover strategy, or you want to lead a team and drive the team towards results, what lends gravitas to the leader is basically the skills where the leader is able to galvanize and mobilize the entire force of the organization towards the goal. So, what is the secret sauce that helps one create impact as a leader? We will be deliberating on this critical aspect in this video. So, who has not heard of the story of a person with very high technical skills and intellectual skills being promoted to the next level in an organization only to fail? And we also know about the story of another individual with solid skills, but really not extraordinary in terms of technical skills or functional skills, but able to create greater impact and build a greater quantum of success to the role and to the business. So what separates effective leadership with average leadership? There's been a lot of research on the subject, and I would like to quote Daniel Coleman out here in one of his articles in HBR. What Daniel Coleman says is, what really separates an outstanding leader from an average leader is the important aspect of emotional intelligence. Functional skills and technical skills are basically threshold competencies, which will help a leader at the entry level or lower down the organization. But emotional intelligence is the sine qua non of leadership. So Daniel Coleman and his colleagues have created an extensive research on 188 organizations. And there they have grouped the employees on the basis of three competencies. One is on technical skills, like analysis. The second is the cognitive abilities, like business planning or marketing planning. And the third is basically emotional intelligence. So what they found out to their research is no surprise. Emotional intelligence accounts for twice IQ and technical skills combined as a predictor of success. So the most successful senior leaders, what separated them was basically emotional intelligence. And when you look at the ratio of emotional intelligence to IQ and technical skills, emotional intelligence had twice the impact as compared to IQ and technical skills put together in terms of defining success for leadership. So as you go higher in the organization, what separates an outstanding performer from an average performer is basically emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is more critical at very senior levels in an organization, and technical skills and IQ have lesser role to play in terms of defining effectiveness and gravitas for a leader. So here are some statistics that show unequivocally the importance of emotional intelligence to quality of leadership and the impact it can create. So here there's a 40-year study at Berkeley, which reported that emotional intelligence is nearly 4 times more powerful than IQ as a predictor of success. Another study at PepsiCo revealed that managers with high EI levels outperformed annual targets to the extent of 15 to 20%. According to a study by Motorola on SHRM, 93% of employees at a Motorola plant became more productive after adopting different emotional intelligence programs for stress relief. And according to the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report, AI has already broken into the top skill that is required at the level of senior leadership. So therefore, the importance of emotional intelligence cannot be underscored, and this is a singular factor that creates impact at the level of senior leadership. So what are the components that go into defining emotional intelligence? If you have to create impact as a leader, and if you have to build emotional intelligence, what are the key attributes that a leader requires to drive the team towards success? Well, emotional intelligence is an interplay of 5 factors. The first one is self-awareness. How aware I am about my thoughts, my behavior, my desires, my motivations, my strengths, and my weakness. So the more I'm aware about myself and where I stand, the more confident I am. So how does it show in terms of your leadership traits? If I were to give you my own personal example, if I am given a very tight deadline, then I know that I'm really not so good at it. And therefore, the quality of my work might be impacted, though I might just be able to scramble through and meet the deadline. Take, for example, as a visiting professor in a B school, I need to plan my sessions well in advance. And when I start the new term, I prepare for my series of 20 lectures or 10 lectures at least 10 days prior to the commencement of the course. So I go through the course outline that I myself have prepared. I look at what is the content. I try to build the structure around which I'm going to share my thoughts. And I start preparing myself for the first 2 sessions so that I have a head start and I'm able to navigate to the entire course content without crashing through the timelines or compromising on the quality of the impact. So that's the level of self-awareness, knowing clearly your strengths and your weakness and navigating by leveraging your strengths and overcoming your weakness through better planning. The second is self-regulation. We are all driven by our biological impulses. If your impulses get the better of your emotion, then that can aggravate relations or it can undermine quality of interactions with your peers or with the seniors. So therefore, it is very important for a manager to have a control on their feelings and on their emotions so that they are able to channelize them very productively in terms of influencing people and making sure they get the best out of their teams. Take, for example, me and my team have to make a very critical presentation to a client. And during the course of the presentation, the team has botched it up completely and they have clearly shown that they are not up to it and we don't get the contract. Now, as a leader, if I'm able to control my emotions and tell the team exactly what they did right and what did not go right, and we all discuss together what are the learnings that we have gathered from this experience. And the next time around, if we were to prepare ourselves for a similar situation, how do we incorporate these learnings into our approach to be more effective and more impactful? Then as a leader, I have a better self-regulation. There's no point in just going onto your team and blasting them. If that happens, they would get further demoralized, and then it requires a lot of time to get them back on track in terms of getting them to do quality work. So as a leader, to get the best out of my team, I need to have self-regulation to guide, direct, and motivate the team members and channelize their efforts for greater productivity. The third one is motivation. A self-motivated leader is a more effective leader. So a self-motivated leader does not shy away from ambition. So ambition is not something that is difficult to achieve, as long as the leader is very clear in terms of knowing what it takes to achieve that particular ambition. So motivation and the self-driven desire for achievement is what characterizes an effective leader and a skillful leader. So in emotional intelligence, as a leader, I'm able to influence and impact my team members by convincing them on the importance of this particular ambition and how this ambition is going to really make our organization better, more productive, and more distinctive. And we all brainstorm together in terms of creating strategies and plans so that we know what it takes to achieve that ambition. So motivation is what spurs the leader and the team to greater levels of achievement and levels of excellence. So the third critical component of emotional intelligence is motivation. The fourth is empathy. As a leader, I need to understand the feelings of my team member, and I just cannot relate to them without understanding what is going through in their minds, the undercurrent of emotions that is there in their minds, and I really need to be cognizant of it. Take, for example, we are in a meeting with different stakeholders from different functions in an organization, and there is a team which is underperforming. As a leader, if I don't empathize with that particular team and I chide them in public for a poor performance, then as a leader, I lack the empathetic skills. But if I chide them in private, and if I really try to understand in detail what are the factors that have contributed to this underperformance, where we have gone wrong or where we have not done the right things, and what are the reasons why we have not been achieving our ambitions. So we look at different alternatives, we look at all the plans, what has gone well, what has not gone well, try to understand what is pulling us down and why we are not doing so well on certain areas, and what are the learnings that we can build in. Then I'm more empathetic to the needs of that person because I chide that person in private and not in public. I'm empathetic to them, and we discuss together the factors and the reasons and what it takes to turn around that and bring in the right set of actions to turn around the performance. So an effective leader is the one who amply demonstrates the skill of empathy. And finally, the fifth and the most important part of emotional intelligence is social skills. Also known as social capital, a person with high social skills has got a very high degree of interpersonal relationships. He's the one who can really mobilize people together. He can guide, direct, and motivate the team as a result of his social skills. Take, for example, in my business or in my division, there is a particular initiative for which I need to create an internet program, but I don't have the resources to do it. But that does not deter me. I go all out of my job description. I mobilize my team and I mobilize my other co-functions, and I'm able to put together a program in terms of creating some kind of an internet presence for that particular initiative in my division. And then we want to showcase that and project that in a conference to our customers. So here again, I'm able to get out of my comfort zone. I'm able to reach out to other divisions, other co-workers, able to influence and mobilize them and get them together to pool in resources to create that internet program and participate in that particular convention. And later on, if at all, there's a new division that is getting created for such kind of internet programs, then as a leader, I have already demonstrated the skills in order to make these kind of programs possible. And therefore, there is no hesitation on the part of the senior leadership to make me as the head of this particular project. So friends, remember the 5 important and key factors of emotional intelligence that adds gravitas and impact to being a successful leader. Knowing yourself in relation to your strengths and your weaknesses, self-awareness, regulating your impulses through self-regulation, guiding and inspiring your team with an ambition and motivating them with a set of actions through consensus, being empathetic, not chiding them in public, but chiding them in private, understanding the reasons and pulling them together to take control of the situation and deliver a better standard of performance. And finally, social skills, liaising, network, and interpersonal relationships to galvanize the entire force of the concerned stakeholders in order to create success for a project that you are trying to create. So the more you are endowed in these 5 critical aspects, the more you are demonstrating the ability of emotional intelligence, and that is going to set the leader apart, especially at the senior leadership levels. So friends, I do hope you like this deliberation on what it takes to make impact as a leader. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me, and wish you good luck and all the very best in terms of adding dynamism and impact in your leadership journeys. Thank you.